and welcome to this week's Game Buzz. I'm Matt, and I'm joined here once again by Jonathan Lester.
Bzzz, Game Buzz. We haven't done that yet. I thought it was probably time.
Oh God. Well, Carl, the pressure's on you now. Like, what's your introductory greeting going to be?
I don't know what's going on, and I shan't respond to it.
An Arrested Development quote. We like that.
Yep.
Yeah, this week it's been something of a slow week, but in sort of classic form, I guess. They've been doing this for a while. Microsoft have once again just kind of royally screwed the pooch. With the latest Xbox 360 dashboard update, beta making games significantly more expensive than they already are in the UK. Of course, they've written this off to just being an accident, a sort of error. Do we believe that?
Yeah, I believe that Microsoft fucks up every single day now. They didn't used to. They used to push this industry forward every single day a few years ago. That was awesome back then.
Those were the fun
But
times.
what they do now is it's bizarre. You wake up every day and think, "Oh no, it's Groundhog Day. Microsoft has screwed up and U-turned on something." So yeah, they've confirmed some reports from the beta that we still cannot confirm or deny, but luckily they have, that games were going to become significantly more expensive. And we're talking £6.80 to £8.99. Yet points were being converted back at the normal rate. So say you'd have 800 points in your account, that would be converted to £6.80, but 800 point games would be converted to £8.99. So you would pretty much be left totally out of pocket. It was outrageous. But yeah, I buy it's an error. Microsoft screw up, and that's kind of what betas are for. Everyone screws up in betas. If betas aren't full of massive problems, it's not really a beta. It's a demo. But this is kind of a big deal. I mean, it's not like a little UI feature not working properly or a few flags not working properly. They priced every single game wrong.
It's not exactly the sort of thing that would just sort of slip in under the radar, you'd think. I mean, like, it's pricing. It's big. It's right there on the screen. It's staring you in the face. Like, what are they doing in Redmond? What are they feeding them? That's what I want to know. Like, as you say, week in, week out, you wake up and it's just, oh, what have they done now? Oh, Microsoft. Actually, I wish it was that sanguine. Usually it's just a sort of storm cloud of swearing and disbelief.
Yes, and pouring through NDAs. Yeah, this situation was just yet another thing that Microsoft really doesn't need right now. But at least they communicated properly this time. Because they could have quite easily just not said anything and let this fester and just, relied on the fact that the beta may have a very strict NDA, hypothetically, but they didn't do that. They did at least come out and issue a statement to pretty much everyone and say, we messed up, but it's a beta, and just relax, guys. This is how it works. This is iterative, and we will give people their money back. We'll refund people the difference.
Yeah, it could have been worse. They could have said, "Deal with it."
Hashtag deal with it.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. But on the other hand, we may still have to hashtag deal with it because games, I think, potentially could get more expensive still. Because what's likely to happen now, I can't see games, those 800 point games, becoming £6.80 on that store. Can you? Can you see games becoming £6.80?
No, but the thing is, like, it depends what I've sort of talked about this in the past. Like, there are two things going on. There's a switch back to a sort of a real life currency, and I use inverted commas for that. And there's Microsoft kind of wanting to hike up game prices because the PSN isn't. You can buy things directly, but wallet systems allow for a flexible market. So if you use prepaid cards on the PSN, it's sort of a flexible market just as much as Microsoft points were, because you can buy £20 face value cards for like 16, 17 quid, which sort of.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it depends on Microsoft's exchange rates, like as they shift points over to a real currency system, and it depends whether or not they keep that wallet.
And it depends on their partners as well, saying, well, hang on, Microsoft, like, if you look at the latest Borderlands 2 DLC pack, Tiny Tina's Assault and Dragon Keep, that costs $7.99 on PSN, $7.99 on PC, 800 Microsoft points on XBLA. I can't see Microsoft keeping it that way. I would assume they're going to probably attempt to match everyone else, I would guess, and make that little bit of extra scratch in the process.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We've defended Microsoft points quite fervently in the past because, well, if you wrapped your head around one thing essentially, which was Microsoft's own exchange rate, you could shop for bargains galore like pretty much everywhere else. And yeah, it's sad to see it going away. And yeah, you do wonder if they do then match sort of current prices across PSN and PC at sort of like $7.99 for those 800 Microsoft points sort of games. Will we be able to buy sort of prepaid credit at a lower rate that will then sort of balance that out? And the honest answer to that is we don't know yet.
No, but we will know soon enough because this thing's going to be rolling out in August. So, yeah, kind of fingers crossed. And we would keep you up to date with the latest news from the beta, except that we can't even tell you whether or not we're in it. So, that's good. I just wonder how Microsoft's going to screw up next. Is anyone else wondering that? Like, I don't know, are we going to see news that, in fact, Steve Ballmer is, in fact, the reincarnation of the Dark Pharaoh Nephron Ka back to exact his revenge or something? Like, what possible thing is going to happen next? I'm actually kind of excited.
I envision, you ran that story earlier this week about Microsoft not really convinced they can sell the Xbox One as is in Japan. Like I then went to sleep that evening and sort of had this crazy dream. I'd eaten a lot of cheese about sort of like the Xbox One turning into an enormous robot and fighting Godzilla.
I would buy one if it does that. Connect to be its head.
Yeah.
And that would jump on the top, and they have little controller feet, and like it would pretty much be 30 stories tall. Like, have you seen the size of that console itself?
Yeah.
Like, it would be pretty terrifying. Yeah, I would probably buy it for that functionality. And also the fact that even though it's got horrendous looks, at least every time I look at a PS4, it's like I feel a bit like it's moving really quickly. It gives me like motion sickness every time I look at that slanty thing. It's like, whoa, that thing's moving crazy fast.
It's like a console in italics.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Microsoft has said, I think have thought, we're going to, the Japanese, the head of their Japanese territory has said, we don't have any ideas. Have you got any ideas? He literally said that. He said, if you could think of how we can sell this in Japan, like, do let us know. And, my instant reaction to that would be, here's an idea, put some JRPGs on it. And they have done that. They are, there is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15, amongst other games, and hopefully some games from other potentially superior publishers. Sorry, Square, but you've got a lot of work ahead of you. But they've clearly realised they've got problems there. They seem also to have realised that they are perhaps having problems selling to us as well. Because they've forgotten that public relations, a key part of public relations, is relating to the public. So what they have instead decided to do is try and flog the Xbox One as a fax machine to small businesses.
Yep, like we might be more expensive, but we're tax deductible.
Genius. Just saying, look, guys, okay, so you small business owners totally want stuff to Skype on. Like, you clearly are going to want to buy a big TV for the office and an Xbox One so you can nudge, nudge, wink, wink, Skype and use all the office web apps with each other. Yeah, use that internet, that newfangled Internet Explorer to blue sky think, increase your productivity ceiling. No, they're just saying, what they're doing is saying, hey, guys, look, just try and see if your accountant can get you one of these for free. I bet they can. So
I just love the quote. Like the blog post is so great. It's just like, how you've got your computer and your phone. Well, now we have the Xbox One.
It's
entirely justifiable as a business expense.
It is, and it's got all the worst bits about a PC and a phone. It's kind of limited like a phone, but you can't make calls on it like a phone.
You can't put it in your pocket like a phone.
Like a phone, and you have to connect it to a TV, unlike a computer. But like a computer, it is absolutely enormous. So, and yeah, you can install Office web apps on it, unlike freaking Office. And all the email accounts and all the communication tools and networking suites that you already have on your workstations that you already have, and your phone. I do love the idea of like sort of 80s style businessman bowling round like holding an Xbox One up like an old car phone, like talking to it through the headset. I love the image of that. And I also just love the balls on that MVP who said that, just saying, yeah, you and I both know you are just going to be trying to buy an Xbox One and play Titanfall as a business expense. We all know that's happening. Go on, do it. What's the worst that can happen except like a massive fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's as if they deliberately don't want to target games. It's like, right, we've targeted the sports audience, and now we've targeted people who watch television, so they can watch television on their televisions. And now, we could target the game. No. Business owners.
Yeah, who are they going to target next? What about perhaps the elderly, because you could use Kinect to, it would give them someone to talk to. That's great. I mean, who are they selling it to? Like, yeah, super active, like fitness types, because you can wave your arms around and stuff in front of the Kinect, and it will totally burn calories on it.
Presumably the government, obviously, so they can, spy on everyone.
Hot air balloon owners, because it makes fantastic ballast. I mean, it could be a business expense for them potentially. I can't wait to see who they target next with this. Hopefully it will be loyal Xbox consumers. That'd be super great if they target us. that would be awesome, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
Right, let's get off Microsoft because I'm bored about talking about Microsoft. Let's talk about the other big thing from this week, or the biggest thing from this week, quite possibly, because every time Rockstar dribble out a new slice of information, the internet breaks. GTA 5 got a new trailer this week, and we've been fairly cagey and slightly reserved regarding GTA. But is it fair to say, like Carl, you were quite skeptical? Is it fair to say that this might have not necessarily changed your opinion wholesale, but given you a little bit more optimism about the game?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that. You're right. Skeptical isn't the right word, but it was basically all I was saying was that we were being given this second-hand information from articles, and the trailers we were getting were cut in a cinematic sense to show off the best bits. We weren't seeing the game in action. I wanted to see some gameplay before I was even going to try and jump on the hype train, because that's what happened with Grand Theft Auto 4. And Grand Theft Auto 4 wasn't exactly the most fun entry in the franchise's history. So yeah, we've seen this. It was a slow one for me, pretty much. But we saw the gameplay trailer this week, and yeah, we got to see everything in action. We got to see, basically, it was no new information to be found in that trailer. We saw what was in the press preview articles a few months back, but we got to see it in action. And for me, I'm now fairly excited by what I've seen. It all looks really good. It looks very slick. They've improved the combat, and we got to see the switching between characters. And more importantly, we got to see a bit more about how the heists are going to work. And of course, they teased Grand Theft Auto Online, which we still need to learn about. But just that small clip of like players doing things like down on the streets and then jets going past. It looks awesome. So yeah, I am now upgrading my sort of like cautious enthusiasm to, well, no, it wasn't enthusiasm. My cautious nature to enthusiasm, I would say.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that. I think, like for me, the biggest concern was always going to be sort of mission design, because Rockstar are incredibly good at creating really intricately detailed, immersive worlds, like really awesome worlds. But as we've said in previous podcasts talking about open worlds and stuff like that, like two of the most important things are often traversal and sort of the manner in which you can interact with those worlds, like missions, things to do, that sort of thing. And GTA's previously have all followed pretty much the same sort of format, with like the best ones for me being stuff like Vice City Stories on the PSP, which took the best world, I will fight you on this, and then added in all that sort of empire building. And yeah, in this trailer we got to see, as you say, sort of the some of the workings behind the heists, like the level of player agency that's going to be in effect, like the stuff you can do, the freedom you'll have to sort of design things to go down the way you want them to, which is very exciting indeed. And they said, and I really hope this is true, that they've tuned everything up, including the driving, which has always been just the worst thing. Like, I hate driving in GTA. I took taxis everywhere in GTA 4 because driving was a fucking nightmare. And now, post Sleeping Dogs, there is no excuse for shit driving in an all-encompassing open-world game.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily have an issue with the driving. Like, it was only Grand Theft Auto 4, like the entire sort of like that part of the franchise. That was it handled like just horribly.
The thing is, I thought the driving in GTA 4 was too good, in that I think they tried to make it far too authentic. Like GTA, you should always just be like, it should always be about the fun of escaping from the police or running loads of people over, not the, oh no, I slowly hit a tree and fell out. Oh no. Like, you couldn't concentrate, you couldn't look and just enjoy and bask in the whole fun craziness of any chase. You'd just be like, oh my god, don't hit the tree. Don't hit, no.
Well, I think that's kind of like key for anything, really. Don't hit the tree. But it was more the fact that they had this realistic handling, yet they were encouraging the player to do really ridiculous, outlandish things.
Exactly.
And it didn't mix.
Didn't fit.
No.
So yeah, I've got to say, I'm really amped by that trailer. I've been, like you guys, I've been super cagey and actually like almost downright suspicious, because you know what, this game was announced ages ago and it's been dribbling out, even by Rockstar standards, stuff and details have been really dribbling out about this really slowly. Gameplay looks great, doesn't it? Graphics look fantastic. It's running on PS3. That 3-person gameplay looks wicked, and you can fly planes. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to be doing all the time. I'm going to be playing it basically like it's an Ace Combat game. I'm going to be playing it like a flight sim. So I'm really up for that. I can't wait to see about the size of that world and how well it works.
Yeah, and the sheer number of like they sort of scratch the surface in that trailer of the things you're going to be able to do in that world, like the little mini games. You're going to be able to go around like golf courses and rappel down buildings and like customization up the arse, and the mind boggles. And actually, for me,
that boggles at interior ass customization. I did not see that in the trailer at all.
Like, for me, I wonder if, and actually this is something that scares me slightly, if it might run the risk of being actually too enormous, if that's a thing.
Oh, gamers and all of us want more these days. I know, I personally like games often to be small and focused and lean and muscular, but in this case I think more could be better in this case. Could be. Probably will be. Hopefully, so long as it's dense and there's not just lots of so long as it doesn't turn into Desert Bus, it'll probably be all right.
Cool. So that's GTA 5. We're all pretty psyched for that now. I'm also psyched about the fact, well, Shigeru Miyamoto came out with a couple of little quotes this week. The first of which, the first in which he said that new IPs don't necessarily make for new games, which I kind of agree with.
Sort of.
Kind of. But then the news came out that he's been working on this mysterious, completely new franchise. What?
Yeah, he's keeping pretty busy. It's this is sort of sneaked out in an interview. Perhaps he said too much, but yeah, he is working on something new, which by Nintendo standards, I assume is going to be Donkey Kong Country Returns 2, the country jamboree. I guess that's what Nintendo does now. But they have been rolling out a few new IPs on 3DS, which is good. We've had Dylan's Rolling Western, that was good. We had Harmo Knight from Game Freak, that's good too. So if they roll out a genuinely new IP rather than bringing back yet another bastardization of Star Fox Adventures, the games that should never have existed, then okay, that's awesome. Nintendo needs new IPs. Let's have it. Let's have them now.
I don't think we're going to have them now.
Well, we're probably not going to have them now, seeing as freaking Super Mario Kart isn't out until next year, and all we've got this year is Art Academy. Look at all the crayons. That's great. Thanks, Nintendo. Although, Wind Waker HD, I mean, that's awesome. We have it already, but yeah, that's awesome. It's in HD, so that's a thing.
It's quite telling. You said, look, we've got Mario Kart coming out sort of early next year. And then I think it's time for a new franchise. Really, Nintendo? Like, we've been saying this for years.
Oh, I've got it. It's going to be Toad's own game, isn't it?
Oh no.
It's going to be the Toady Super Toad Adventures in Mushroom Land. He's going to be running around, and then that horrible fungus from The Last of Us is going to come in, and it's going to be him, and he's going to be spreading it. It's going to be like Patient Zero. It's going to be it's going to be nasty. It's going to be tasty. And
you just contrasted one of the like the happiest things, because Toad is just perennially happy. And
I don't think he is
games.
perennially happy. I think he's been slowly cracking under the strain of basically being abused in every game that he's in, and just like Toad never. Nobody loves Toad.
Oh, he's my go-to character in it.
Is he your go-to character? Okay, you love Toad.
Super fast.
You need to tell him that.
Screw you.
He's getting super
Poor
depressed and angry right now.
No, he's not. He's always really happy. He's like, Yahoo!
He's got to smile all the time. He's like one of those people in those bars that celebrate New Year every day. He's like that.
That's
always
great.
smiling,
I'd celebrate New Year
plotting his
day.
revenge. Plotting his revenge.
I think this is
And so
saying
he's
more
gonna get
about
his own
your
game.
ideas of plotting revenge, John the
John,
Toad.
are you
I mean,
sad?
Toad, yeah.
Sorry?
Are you sad?
John? Are you transferring things to Toad?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Poor Toad. He doesn't deserve that. He's a smiley guy.
Smiley guy.
Man.
You mark my words. You mark my words. You mock me now, but soon I mean Toad will have his revenge.
Actually, speaking of people who are unsmiley, Iwata stated the bleeding obvious again this week, saying developers are apparently pessimistic about the Wii U.
Well, he does this every time everyone points out something obvious. He then says to his investors, "Oh, I totally had this awesome idea. I totally had this brainwave that because he said earlier this year, oh, I've just totally realized on my own that the Wii U needs more games." So that's exactly what he's done again. He's right, of course, but he said they're all going to come crawling back once. Well, I don't know. once Super Smash Brothers and Super Mario Kart come out, I guess.
Apparently, yes, the time will come when some third-party games get released. Apparently, and he said it's important to have momentum, but he didn't really explain how that's going to happen.
Yeah, and they don't have that.
No, they don't have any momentum. They don't really have a huge number of first-party things coming out for the entirety of the rest of the year. There's Pikmin 3, and then Mario.
Yay! Oh, and Art Academy. Boom! First party right there.
Because
PictoChats.
U-Draw did so well.
PictoChat 3.
So
The
well.
Pictoning. This time it costs money. Should have hired Matrick.
No, Matrix gone to a deep and progressive company who value consumers and treat them like, the valued customers that they are.
I think you mean consume value, surely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all the news for this week?
I think so. I mean, there's otherwise it's just been a few statements from people saying how wonderful each respective next-gen console is. Sorry, just the PS4. No one seems to be all that up for the PS1 at the moment, the Xbox One at the moment. I guess the last bit of important news is the Steam sale is on. It's on. It's on and popping. I don't even know what that means or even implies, but it's happening. You should go to Steam and spend all of your money on games that are incredibly cheap. It's paradoxical, but that's how it works. You'll lose all your money on the cheapest games ever.
And they'll just sit there for years.
Years and years, because you'll buy them and then the thrill will be gone. Because you love just buying new things, don't you? You love the feeling of getting new games, and then there's just never enough time to play them, is there? No. Fickle. That's your problem.
Have you just called our listening audience
magpie.
fickle? That's terrible. You can't do that.
You're like magpies. You're letting your backlog just build right up there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like magpies actually. They wear tuxedos.
To be
Not
fair,
so
though,
like penguins.
To be fair though, in terms of next gen, like if you don't buy a next gen console this Christmas, and I actually suggest that you don't, because all the best games are going to come out next year anyway. Backlog time. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I advocate that entirely. My backlog at the moment, because the problem with working for Deals Pwn is I am incredibly fickle and go, oh, a new game. I don't have anything to play right now. I've got everything to play right now. Oh, I've got nothing to play right now. This deal looks super great.
Yep.
and there it sits.
When I started working for a deal site, I thought, yeah, I'm going to save all the money. No. You don't save any money. You just spend it all on the awesome deals.
That's the problem. You should never try the product. You should learn that.
On that note, that's pretty much it for this week. Thank you very much for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. Toad is coming, then Toad comes naked
out of the side hatch with the mushrooms and perfume
and issues. Not my issues.
Toad doesn't have issues. He's a happy man. Why no? You don't know.
You always just randomly jump in all the games where he's a shopkeeper. You randomly jump on him, and he keeps smiling. He's just so happy that you're doing that. Yay, that's fine. I'm never the main character, but that's okay. That's okay. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind continually just being an incidental little guy who just gets kind of beaten up. It's okay. It's fine.
I love you, Toad.
Well, tell him that, for God's sake.
I do regularly. That's why whenever I play as him, he's like, woohoo! Because he's like, yeah, I'm with someone who cares about me.
I need to just stop playing games with side hatches, really. Mario side hatch was a bad choice.